come to Beit Prat for a number of reasons. The first is Micha Goodman, actually. I came because I heard him speak and I was very impressed. But the second and third and fourth and fifth are really what brought me here, which is the community that Beit Prat builds and the intellectual atmosphere that it creates.
I originally came here on another program which was run in English here in Jerusalem, and I felt like it was a little bit too anglicized for me.
So I came to Beit Prat because I was looking for a learning program where I could study in Hebrew with Israelis. And at Beit Prat, part of what's really exciting is to meet Israelis from all over the country who are coming from all sorts of different backgrounds.
I was pleasantly surprised to find a number of things. That we're really in the middle of nowhere, that this place is in the middle of the desert, and that there's a Mayan at the bottom. I didn't know anything about the Mayan before I came here, but I ended up spending quite a bit of time there. It's a really beautiful place. And on a hot day in the desert, you really just want to jump in.
I think what's surprising me now this is after the end of the program, where how much people are in touch. Like we're filming in Jerusalem, and I came here to see a few friends. We just finished lunch with one of our friends, and people traveled to Morocco together. People found roommates, housemates from the program. The bonds really stayed very strong between individuals, and I led a bunch of birthright trips where a few birthright trips where that didn't happen, and I was glad to see that in this case that it did.
When everyone davens on Friday night, they go out to the mitzveh, which is an outcrop looking over the desert on the Judean hills, and it's an incredible spot by itself, but also it happens to be facing the sunset. So when Kabbalat Shabbat rolls around on Friday night, there's this sort of incredible sunset that everyone watches and davens together. And that's an amazing experience every time that there's a Shabbat in the Midrashah.
The people who come to Beit Prat are people who are interested in the intersection between the Jewish texts and the secular texts, and Jews from a religious background and Jews from a secular background. And the conversations that come up are always interesting.
What differentiates the social atmosphere is the fact that this program is 95% Israeli. So the fact that you are actually interacting with Israelis about questions that are relevant to them in situ, in the place where it's relevant to them, in Israel. I think that makes a world of difference.
There's also something unique in the brand of learning, specifically with regard to the Jewish studies. We study Tanakh and Talmud not only with an eye to understand what the rabbis were saying or what the text means, but also with the intention of bringing the arguments and bringing the messages of the text to our daily lives. Micha Goodman's Tanakh class was always exhilarating, to study a book of the Tanakh, a book of the Bible, and to analyze it and to take it apart and to understand the models of leadership that are found in the text, to understand the ways in which the text might be able to speak to contemporary questions of politics, to see it in a more philosophical light, was always very interesting and really brought the text up off the page for me.
The way that it works here is that they go from big ideas in the morning to small ideas at night, or a more intimate setting. And we had this Kvutzat Inyan, which is a sort of interest group in modern Jewish thinkers, most of whom were American and who I had known before, but what was interesting was the read that we took on them, the way that they touched people. We went through each one and learned what they had to offer and what they had to give, and by the end I really came away with an incredibly strong sense of who these people were and what they gave to American and Jewry and Judaism in general.
The Midrashah is very much a place of intersection. In addition to having students coming from all sorts of backgrounds, from all over the place, bringing different areas of expertise and interests, the classes themselves also reflect that that approach of wanting to find the intersection between different subjects. We have classes that look at both sides of things. We took a class that talked about the right and the left in Israel, about socialism and communism, about all the diametrically opposed views and how they can be understood. And that's something that I really got out of the Midrashah.
Jewish history, modern Israeli politics, Western philosophy, poetry. I'm just beginning to scratch the iceberg. Theater, Krav Maga, like Israeli self-defense, yoga, tons. If you want a party for your brain, get your tusik over here.
I would recommend this program to all Israelis, but only to specific Americans, to Americans who are seeking, to Americans who are interested in an intellectual place with a spiritual backdrop, to Americans who are interested in pluralism, who are willing to open their ears and hearts to alternate views, who are willing to sometimes break their teeth over the Hebrew and feel like they're maybe not expressing everything they can, but finally get to that place at the end. If you decide that you want all of those things, this is an incredible place to come.